We are back. You are chatting with John P. Today, we are going to be talking about whether or not I believe that AP is the new Patek. And I will explain. Don't worry, I will explain what I mean by that. But first, I'd like to thank you for liking this video, subscribing. It helps me help you. And also, leave in the comments below things that you'd like to see in future episodes. And you can find me on Instagram, TheRealJohnP. DelReyWatch.com. We have a Hulk in stock. I'll set all of that aside now and get into the topic at hand. So, there's a bit of a trend in the watch industry, right, guys? Everyone's gravitating towards stainless steel sports watches. Now, by everyone, I mean the guys that follow the trends. So, not literally everyone in the watch industry, but a good chunk of watch collectors, buffs, savants, and even casuals are gravitating towards these Genta-inspired or Genta-actually designed watches and watch lines. You've got the Ingenieur, you've got the AP Royal Oak, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, you've got the Patek Nautilus, and that's what we're going to talk about. So, in the short of it, no, I don't think that AP is the new Patek, and so, let me explain. When you have Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe, neither of them are new watch brands. Let's just clarify that for those of you wondering if there is anybody wondering. But what we have is we have the Patek Philippe Nautilus line, especially in stainless steel, that just exploded in popularity about 3 years ago. It was always kind of a popular watch in recent times. Before that, it was kind of cast aside in favor of Rolex for sports watches. And while Rolex watches, stainless steel sports models, have gone up in price, especially in the secondhand non-authorized dealer market, the same can also be said about the Patek Philippe Nautilus, sometimes selling triple retail price. And I think it's unfair, in my opinion, for the collector to think that all stainless steel sports models of all brands will go up, because it's just not true. There have been some brands that have been riding the coattails in recent times of this kind of phenomenon and releasing watches that look a lot like the Nautilus, like the Daytona, like the Submariner. That's not a new thing, but there are more brands and micro brands doing so. And what we have is Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. It's been a watch line for a very long time. It's not a new model. It's not a new brand. There's nothing new about it. But what you see that I think is new is the collectors that are not able to get the Daytona because it's very difficult to buy one brand new at retail. They're not able to get some of the other watches like the Nautilus from Patek, and so they buy the Royal Oak, specifically the 41 in either the blue or the black dial, and they expect to double their money. And so at DelReyWatch.com, we've been receiving these calls over the last month or two from watch collectors and flippers, and the guy that is looking to make a buck on what is perceived to be a trend in the industry and expecting it to follow into the AP brand. And unfortunately, it's just not there. And so you'll go on the forums and you'll see someone trying to sell a brand new in box, unworn, full kit, warranty card dated yesterday, AP Royal Oak 41 with either the black or the blue dial, and expecting to get $40,000 from it when the retail, I believe, is $19,500. And they're just not getting it. You can go on the forums and you'll see some of the guys that have lowered their prices much lower because they couldn't get it. And I just wanted to share that with you because from a dealer's perspective, at DelReyWatch.com, we do field a lot of phone calls from guys looking to sell their watches. And the AP Royal Oak 41 is just not a piece that you can expect most people, including dealers, to pay you somewhere close to double retail. Now, there is a lot of demand for some watches, like the Nautilus, like the like the Daytona, like the Submariner, but there's certainly not demand for all watches that are stainless steel sports models. So while the supply may be more limited, perhaps even more limited than the ceramic Rolex Daytona or the ceramic Submariner, the demand is just not there compared to the other brands, and so the supply can be much lower, but the demand is also much lower in favor of the demand still being for the other watches. So sure, we will occasionally work with someone that says, as a personal collector, I just can't seem to find the Nautilus at a reasonable price that I'm willing to swallow, so maybe they'll get into the AP41. But, you know, they're not going to pay double retail for, you know, $40,000 for a watch that they don't want when they can pay much less for a watch that's also an alternative, like an Ingenieur, like many of the other watches that exist today that have that similar shape and design and function. And at the end of the day, let's face it, these watches that are selling triple retail really are only priced because of the lack of them in the marketplace compared to the demand. There's really not anything special about the watch that makes it worth that much more besides the demand. So I wanted to share that with you there because, once again, we do get these phone calls, even people asking if they should go and pick it up at the boutique. For example, we had a gentleman call us here, and he said, "Hey, I'm so surprised. The AP boutique at Bell Harbor called, and they actually called me back for this Royal Oak." Well, newsflash, Federico and I went to the AP boutique, and they said that there was like a 2-week waiting period, which was equivalent to, we just have to place the order for you. So I just want to set the record straight. If you can't get one, perhaps try another boutique if you are interested in the watch. And if you're not interested in the watch, I would not recommend paying double retail or even significantly over retail. If the boutique that you want to purchase from doesn't have it, you can't find it elsewhere. There are some people that have these watches for sale at just a few $1,000s above retail because they did find out the lesson that I was just sharing with you here. So leave in the comments below. By the way, I don't think anything negatively of the brand AP or the watch. I like it. I think it probably should be more in demand than it is compared to what else is going on in the market. But the fact is, it's just not. So leave in the comments below your opinions on this. If you're an AP guy, leave comments below as well. Also, do you have this watch? What do you think about it? I would love to hear your feedback. And guys, don't forget, we have a Hulk at DelReyWatch.com. Had to throw that out there because the Hulk guys still exist. By the way, way more demand for a Hulk than an AP, and we have one. So check that out. Okay, guys, this has been just another episode of Chatting with John P. Have a great week. Ciao.